in the endless darkness of space. Great ships from many alien species gathered near the star system of Zephyr. This was a meeting like no other, summit of the galaxy's most powerful empires. Their warships floated like giants, shining, cold and strong. They ruled vast worlds and millions of star systems. But among these mighty vessels came a small, humble ship, the human ship Endeavor. It was tiny and slow compared to the other giants. Its hull was scratched and worn, its engines less powerful. The humans aboard knew they looked weak. The aliens laughed when they saw the humans. Their mocking voices echoed through the galaxies. Communication channels. Look at the tiny human ship. Barely a pebble in the sea of stars. The alien Kylithar commander sneered, "Humans are weak. They barely left their own small planet, and now they come here thinking they can challenge us." The human captain, Rachel Stone, stood on the bridge of the Endeavor. She saw the mocking messages but said nothing. Her eyes were calm, but full of quiet fire. Around her, the crew worked steadily. Though small in number, they were determined. They carried something greater than size, a will to survive, and a hunger to prove their worth. As the summit began, the great ships exchanged demands and threats. The humans were there as observers, not yet recognized as equals. The aliens debated loudly about what to do with the humans, ignore them, or crush them early, before they became a problem. Suddenly, the summit's communications were interrupted by a strange signal, a low hum, barely audible, yet impossible to ignore. It came from deep inside the human ship. Alien leaders frowned. Their advanced scanners could not identify it. The signal seemed to pulse with a strange rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. The Kylithor commander barked, "What is that noise? Is it some trick? A weapon hidden on the human ship?" Captain Stone smiled faintly. "No tricks, just a message." Message, the alien sneered. Before anyone could answer, the signal changed, sending a burst of encrypted data across the summit's network. Screens flickered, systems blinked. Aliens scrambled to secure their own ships. Rachel's calm voice came over the comms, clear and strong. "This is humanity. We are here not as conquerors, but as equals. We have survived much and learned more than you think." A silence fell. The aliens stared at each other. No one expected humans to speak so boldly. The Kylithar commander growled, empty words from weaklings. But something had shifted. The signal had unsettled them, though they did not admit it. Over. The next hours, strange things happened. Aliens found their systems slowed or disrupted by faint echoes of the human signal. Communications became unreliable. Their ship's sensors showed false readings. It was subtle, but effective. Humans had shown they could reach deep inside the most advanced alien technology and disrupt it with a simple, mysterious signal. Captain Stone ordered her crew to stay calm and watch. They did not provoke more, but waited to see how the galaxy's strongest would react. Meanwhile, whispers spread across the summit. What if humans are not weak? What if they hide powers we do not understand? But no one dared to admit. Fear openly. The summit ended with no decisions. The aliens left more confused than ever. They laughed at humans less now, replaced by cautious curiosity. As the Endeavor left the star system, Rachel looked at the stars. They mocked our weakness, she thought. But soon they will learn what real fear feels like. The humans' journey had just begun. They carried a secret, a strength beyond weapons, the power of hope, unity, surprise, and the galaxy would never be the same. The stars stretched endlessly before the Endeavor as it sailed away from Zephyr. Captain. The bridge, her eyes scanning the distant glow of alien ships still gathering in the system. The mocking laughter had faded, replaced by quiet whispers. Whispers that humans might be stronger than anyone expected. Rachel did not speak much about the secret she carried. Her crew knew only this much. Humanity was far from helpless. Had survived wars, disasters, and countless threats on their home planet. They had learned to be clever, patient, and fierce when needed. The Endeavor was small. Yes, but inside it carried hidden technology not designed for grand displays of power, but for adaptability, resilience, and surprise. One evening, as the crew prepared for rest, the ship's engineer, Malik, called Rachel to the engine room. The room was cramped, filled with humming machinery and glowing panels. "Captain," Malik said quietly, "our engines are holding steady, but I've been working on the stealth field. It's not like the alien cloak's hours bends light and sound in ways they don't expect. We can slip past their scanners like ghosts." Rachel smiled. "Good work, Malik. If they don't see us coming, we can strike when they least expect." Not far away, Lieutenant Park, the ship's tactical officer, was running simulations. He frowned at the screen showing an alien fleet formation. "They rely on brute strength," he said. "It's large ships, heavy weapons, and overwhelming numbers, but their tactics are predictable." Rachel nodded. "That's why we fight smarter, not harder. Use the environment, the unknown, and keep them guessing." As they traveled deeper into the galaxy, the humans encountered an alien scout ship. It was sleek, fast, and heavily armed, the kind of vessel meant to intimidate and gather intelligence. The scout's captain, a towering being named Drakther, sent a message: "Human ship, you are small and weak. Leave this sector or be destroyed." Responded calmly, "We seek no fight. We come to learn and to live in peace." Drakther laughed, a deep echoing sound. "Peace? With humans? Your kind is primitive and fragile." Suddenly, the scout ship moved to attack. The Endeavor's crew was ready. Instead of direct fire, they used their hidden technology. The stealth field flickered on, making the ship vanish from the scout's sensors. Then the humans launched small drones, tiny machines designed to confuse and disable. The scout systems began to fail one by one. Alarms blared as their weapons shut down. Drakethor's confidence turned to surprise and anger. "How is this possible?" he roared. "Your technology is different." Rachel's voice was steady. "Different can be better." The humans disabled the scout ship without destruction, sending a clear message they were not to be underestimated. News of the encounter spread quickly through alien channels. Other species started to wonder, how did these weak-looking humans hold their own against powerful enemies? On board the Endeavor, the crew trained harder. They studied alien tactics and learned to blend human creativity with alien technology captured during earlier missions. One scientist, Dr. Lena Harris, explained the key to their strength. "Humans don't rely on raw power alone. We use teamwork, unpredictability, and adaptability. When we combine that with technology designed to surprise, we gain the upper hand." Rachel believed this more than anything, but the greatest challenge was yet to come. Deep in the Clither Empire, the most feared alien race, word of the humans' growing power reached the ears of High Commander Vral. He was a ruthless leader who crushed any who dared oppose his rule. "Humans," Vral growled, "they are a nuisance. Send the fleet. Show them the price of defiance." Clither began preparing a strike force to hunt down the Endeavor and its allies. Back on the Endeavor, Rachel received encrypted messages from secret human bases scattered across the stars. The humans were building a hidden network: ships, spies, and allies, ready to fight back. The humans had learned the galaxy's harsh lessons. Survival meant strength. But strength was not just in weapons, it was in heart, mind, and unity. Rachel gathered her officers. "The Clither are coming," she said. "We can't fight them alone. We need alliances, strategy, and courage." Lieutenant Park nodded. "Then let's show them the power of human spirit." The crew prepared for war, but also for hope, because the galaxy was beginning to see humans might be small, but they were far from weak, and when pushed, humans fought with a strength that others feared, the strength of unexpected heroes. The quiet tension in space finally broke. Captain Rachel Stone stood on the bridge of the Endeavor, eyes fixed on the holographic display. Ahead, a massive fleet from the Clither Empire moved like dark storm clouds, hundreds of warships each. Larger and more deadly than anything humans had ever faced, the Clither. Commander's message was clear and cold. Surrender your ship and submit to the Empire's rule, or be destroyed. Rachel's fingers tapped lightly on the console. "We don't surrender," she said. "We fight." Around her, the crew prepared for battle. Though outnumbered, they were calm. They had trained for this moment, knowing the stakes were survival. Not just for themselves, but for humanity's future among the stars. The Endeavor's engines hummed, shifting into stealth mode. They slipped through the shadows of space, unseen by the vast Clither fleet. But the enemy's sensors were sharp and relentless. Suddenly, alarms blared. A swarm of Clither fighters launched from their motherships, hunting the humans like wolves. Lieutenant Park's voice cut through the tension. "Fighters incoming. Defensive systems online." The Endeavor moved swiftly, dodging energy blasts with agile maneuvers no larger ship could match. The small vessel's hidden stealth technology gave them an edge-one moment visible. The next vanished. The humans unleashed their own counterattack. Tiny drones swarmed the Clither fighters, jamming their systems and causing confusion. But the enemy was ruthless. The Clither launched heavy plasma cannons, aiming to crush the Endeavor. Explosions rocked the ship, sending vibrations through the hull. Rachel gritted her teeth. "Stay focused. Use the terrain asteroid fields, debris. Anything. We're small, so we must be smart." The ship darted into a dense asteroid belt, weaving between giant rocks. The Clither fighters followed, but many crashed or lost track. Suddenly, the Clither dreadnought appeared, a massive battleship bristling with weapons. Its cannons locked onto the Endeavor, firing deadly beams. The crew braced for impact, but Rachel had a plan. "Prepare the decoy drone," she ordered. The crew launched a bright, fast drone that mimicked the Endeavor's signals. The dreadnought fired at the drone, destroying it, but this gave the real ship a chance to slip away. Rachel smiled briefly. Sometimes the best weapon is a clever trick. The battle raged on for hours. A human small ship could not destroy the Clither fleet, but they slowed it, disrupted communications, and forced the enemy to rethink their tactics. Meanwhile, far from the fight, other alien races watched closely. The humans' bravery surprised many. An alien diplomat whispered, "They are reckless or mad, but also impressive." Back on the Endeavor, the crew faced danger and loss. Several fighters were damaged. Some friends were injured, but these humans did not give up. Rachel stood firm. "We are not the strongest in firepower, but we have something they don't: heart, unity, and a will to fight for our future." As the battle neared its end, the Clither fleet withdrew, frustrated and wary. The humans had survived. They had shown they could stand against the galaxy's most feared warriors, and for the first time, many aliens began to wonder, could these humans really change the balance of power? Rachel looked out into the stars, her voice quiet but strong. This is only the beginning. After the fierce battle with the Clither fleet, the Endeavor drifted quietly in a hidden nebula far from enemy eyes. The crew was tired but alive. They had won a small victory. But Rachel Stone knew the war was just beginning. The Clither were powerful, and their weapons were devastating. If humans wanted to survive and protect their home, they needed something more, a new advantage. something unexpected. Rachel gathered her closest officers in the command room. The air was thick with tension and hope. Dr. Lena Harris, the ship's chief scientist, stepped forward. "Captain, we have been working on a new device, a weapon unlike anything the galaxy has seen." Rachel leaned forward. "Tell me." Eyes sparkled with quiet excitement. "It's called the Pulse Shard. It's not a traditional weapon. It doesn't shoot lasers or missiles. Instead, it sends out a special energy pulse that interferes with enemy ship systems there. Weapons, their shields, their sensors." Lieutenant Park frowned. "How is it different from electronic warfare?" "We've seen that before." Lena shook her head. "The Pulse Shard's pulse is unique. It disrupts quantum systems inside the ships, causes confusion at the deepest level, artificial intelligence malfunctions, weapons misfire, and shields collapse briefly but repeatedly. It's chaotic, unpredictable." Rachel studied the schematics Lena showed on the holographic display. "How long will it take to build?" 2 days, if the crew works nonstop," Lena replied. Rachel nodded. "They don't have much time." "The Clither will not forget us. They will come back stronger." The crew worked feverishly. Engineers repaired damaged systems. Scientists calibrated the Pulse Shard device carefully. Every detail mattered. On the second day, the device was ready. It was small, a glowing shard held inside a protective shell, powered by an advanced energy core. Rachel called a meeting. "This weapon will be our secret. We will use it to even the odds." Lieutenant Park smiled. "It's like a wild card."
Yes.
The Endeavor left the nebula. The crew felt a renewed energy. Pulse Shard was their hope. Not long after, the Clither fleet returned, larger and more prepared. This time, Rachel ordered the Pulse Shard activated. As the enemy ships fired, the shard sent out its strange pulse. On the enemy side, chaos erupted. Weapons shut down unexpectedly. Shields flickered and failed. Fighters lost control and collided. The Clither commanders were confused and angry. Their advanced technology faltered, and the humans pressed their advantage. Rachel ordered the Endeavor to strike. Using their stealth to attack from unexpected angles, the battle shifted dramatically. The humans were no longer just survivors. They were fighters with a deadly surprise. The Clither fleet retreated again, suffering heavy losses and shaken by the strange weapon. In the aftermath, alien observers whispered in disbelief. "Humans have a secret weapon that breaks our science." Meanwhile, Rachel and her crew prepared for what was coming next. They knew the war would not end soon. But now they had a chance to change the galaxy's fate. Rachel looked out at the stars, her voice steady. "We will not just survive, we will fight, and we will win." The quiet victory from the Pulse Shard had shaken the galaxy, but it also stirred darker forces in the depths of space. Far beyond the reach of the Endeavor's sensors, something ancient and deadly watched. The shadow of war was growing, and humanity was about to face a threat unlike any before. Captain Rachel Stone and her crew felt the weight of their new responsibility. They were no longer just explorers or survivors. They were now the galaxy's unexpected challengers. Their small ship had become a symbol of hope and defiance, but also a target. Days after their last battle, strange readings appeared on the Endeavor's sensors. A cold wave of energy pulsed through the void, unlike anything human technology or alien science had recorded before. The pulse was slow and rhythmic, like a heartbeat, but vast and powerful. Lieutenant Park frowned at the display. "Captain, this energy signature. It's not from any known ship or weapon." Dr. Lena Harris examined the data. "It feels alive. Not just energy, but something intelligent." Rachel's voice was calm, but firm. "Prepare to investigate. We must understand this." As the Endeavor moved toward the source, tension filled the ship. The crew prepared for anything, running drills and checking weapons. The unknown was never easy to face. Suddenly, a massive shape appeared on the sensors, a colossal structure floating in the emptiness of space. It was unlike any starship or station the crew had ever seen. Its surface was dark and covered in strange symbols that glowed faintly. "Is that a ship?" Malik whispered, awed. "No," Rachel said, eyes narrowed. Looks more like a living fortress, Endeavor approached cautiously. The structure pulsed with energy, and the strange rhythmic signal grew stronger. Suddenly, the ship's communications crackled to life. Deep voice echoed in the minds of the crew, not spoken with words, but as feelings and images. You are small and fragile, humans. Your arrival disturbs the balance. Leave or be consumed. The message sent chills through everyone. It was a warning and a threat. Rachel responded aloud, steady and brave. We do not come to destroy, only to protect ourselves. We seek peace. The response came as a wave of cold laughter. It felt more than heard. The crew realized they faced an ancient being, something beyond alien races and wars. It was a predator that ruled silently, watching and waiting for prey to fall into its grasp. Rachel called her officers. This isn't just a fight against the Clither. This is something greater, a force that has ruled in the shadows for centuries. Lieutenant Park looked grim. We need allies. Alone we won't survive. Over the next days, the Endeavor sent messages to known allies and even former enemies. The threat was too big to face alone. Alien fleets, reluctant at first, started to respond. The galaxy was waking up to a new danger. Meanwhile, the living fortress pulsed stronger, sending out waves that disrupted communications and weapon systems of approaching ships. Entire fleets had vanished without a trace. Rachel knew time was running out. She stood on the bridge, looking at the stars beyond. This is the moment we either rise or fall. Her crew prepared for a fight, not just for survival, but for the soul of the galaxy itself. Because the greatest predator had awakened, and humanity's true test was about to begin. The dark presence. Lurking in the depths of space was no ordinary enemy. It was ancient, older than any star system humans or their allies knew. This living fortress, known as the Hunter's Heart, was a predator that had survived countless galactic empires by hiding in the shadows and striking without mercy. Captain! Rachel Stone stood on the bridge of the Endeavor, watching as the crew worked tirelessly to understand the true nature of this threat. Every sensor reading, every scan brought more questions than answers. We don't know what it eats. Rachel said quietly during a strategy meeting, but it destroys whole fleets without warning. We have to find its weaknesses. Harris tapped on the holographic display, showing energy readings from the Hunter's Heart. Its power comes from a core inside the Wartresin energy source unlike any we've seen. If we can damage or disrupt that core, maybe we can stop it. Lieutenant Park frowned. But how do we get close enough? The fortress controls space around it, and anything that approaches is destroyed. Rachel's eyes hardened. We need a plan that no one expects. The Endeavor was small, fast, and equipped with stealth technology. It was humanity's best chance to get close and strike. But this was no ordinary mission. It was a suicide run. Rachel gathered her crew in the command room. We're going to infiltrate the Hunter's Heart. It's dangerous, but if we don't try, this predator will keep destroying worlds, including Earth. The crew nodded, understanding the risks. As the Endeavor approached the massive fortress, the space around them grew colder. Systems flickered. Gravity warped strangely. The fortress seemed alive, watching, sensing suddenly the Endeavor's stealth field flickered. Hunter's Heart detected them. Enemy detected, the ship's computer warned. Defensive systems activating. The fortress opened hundreds of tiny ports, releasing swarms of mechanical drones. They moved like shadows, closing in fast, Rachel ordered. Evasive maneuvers, deployed drones for defense. The Endeavor weaved through the swarm, firing pulse lasers to disable the mechanical attackers. The fight was fierce, but the human crew's training and technology kept them alive. Inside the fortress, the crew discovered something shocking. The Hunter's Heart was not just a machine. It was part organic, part artificial. Its systems pulsed with a strange life force. It had evolved to survive by feeding on energy and destroying threats. Dr. Harris studied a sample of the fortress's tissue brought aboard by a small drone. It's like a parasite and a predator combined. We can't destroy it by normal means. Rachel realized the battle was more than physical. It was a war of minds and wills. The crew used the pulse shard, their secret weapon, hoping to disrupt the fortress's core systems. The shard's energy pulse caused a temporary shutdown of some defensive layers. Taking advantage of this, the Endeavor moved closer to the heart of the fortress, but the Hunter's heart fought back with psychic attacks. Crew members felt sudden waves of fear, doubt, and pain. They probed their minds, trying to break their will. Rachel focused on keeping the crew steady. Remember who we are. Fight for our home, for our future. After a tense journey through twisting corridors of energy and metal, the crew located the core, a glowing crystal pulsating with immense power. Dr. Harris worked quickly to set explosive charges. This will overload the core and hopefully destroy the fortress. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Hunter's heart's defense systems activated fully. "Get out!" "Now!" Rachel shouted. The Endeavor raced away, dodging collapsing structures and energy blasts. The fortress exploded behind them in a bright flash that lit the darkness of space. For a moment, silence, then slowly. The sensors showed the fortress collapsing into debris. The humans had struck a heavy blow, but Rachel knew this was only one battle in a larger war. The Hunter's heart was not just a machine or a monster, it was a symbol of the dangers lurking. In the galaxy, as the Endeavor sailed away from the wreckage, Rachel looked to the stars with determination. "We survived today. We'll fight tomorrow. We will never give up." The destruction of the Hunter's heart was a victory, but it also marked a turning point. The galaxy knew now that humanity was no longer weak or small. The humans had shown courage, intelligence, and a strange kind of strength that puzzled. Many Captain Rachel Stone stood on the bridge of the Endeavor, watching the stars scroll by. The ship was quiet but tense. The crew had faced death and survived. But the war was far from over. Messages from across the galaxy came in. Some were warnings, others were offers of alliance. The ancient predators that ruled the dark spaces were starting to notice. Lieutenant Park broke the silence. "Captain, we have incoming transmissions. Multiple fleets are gathering near the outer rim. They want to talk." Rachel nodded. "Patch them through." The screen flickered, and faces appeared, aliens of many kinds. From species once enemies, now seeking a truce. A tall alien with dark scales spoke first. "Humans have changed the balance. We cannot ignore this new force. We propose a council to decide the future of the galaxy." Rachel studied the faces carefully. Some showed fear, others hope. "We are willing to talk," she said, "but only if it leads to peace." The council was arranged, but old rivalries and distrust ran deep. The humans were outsiders, and many feared their rapid rise. Meanwhile, the remnants of the Clither Empire grew desperate. Their fleets rebuilt faster than expected. Their leaders believed only total domination could stop the humans. Dark plans were whispered in secret chambers. Assassins and spies were sent to sabotage alliances and spread fear. On the Endeavor, tensions rose as the crew faced new challenges. Sabotage attempts, cyber attacks, and mysterious disappearances shook the ship. Rachel kept her crew focused. "Trust each other. Our strength is unity." As the council met, strange things began to happen. Ships disappeared near meeting points. Messages were intercepted and twisted. The galaxy's shadows were alive with danger. Rachel realized the war was not just on battlefields, but in minds and hearts. The ancient predators used fear and lies as weapons. One night, the Endeavor detected a hidden fleet moving fast toward a vulnerable colony. Rachel ordered immediate action. The humans raced through space, arriving just in time to defend the colony from a surprise attack. The battle was brutal and close. The Endeavor's crew fought fiercely, using every tactic and weapon they had learned. In the end, the attackers retreated. But the message was clear. The war was spreading. Rachel gathered her officers. "This fight is bigger than us. We need every ally and every strength." The council, now forced to confront reality, began to unite but slowly. Carefully, Rachel knew the road ahead was long and dangerous. The galaxy's predators had met their match, but they would not give up easily. As the Endeavor sailed into the unknown, Rachel's voice echoed in the bridge. "We will stand together, we will fight, and we will survive." The galaxy was no longer what it had been. Whispers of fear had turned into cries for war. After humanity destroyed the hunter's heart and defended the outer colonies, one truth echoed across every system. Humans were no longer weak, but the ancient predators, led now by the broken, furious Clither Empire, would not accept this shift in power. They formed a final massive alliance. Old enemies joined hands not for peace, but to crush humanity before it rose further. From deep space a message reached the Endeavor. It was not a warning, it was a challenge. "You have stolen fear from us," the Clither Supreme Commander growled, "and now we will return it 1,000 times over." They were coming, a fleet so large it blocked stars from sight. Battlecruisers, destroyers, planet killers, all headed for Earth. Captain Rachel Stone stood before her crew, every face watching her with quiet courage. She didn't shout. She didn't promise victory. She simply said, "We don't run. We defend our home." The humans had made alliances, small at first, fragile, but now something greater stirred. Races once divided by fear began to join Earth's call for unity. In every system touched by war, a choice was made: stand with fear or stand with hope. And slowly, ships began to arrive. Not many, not powerful, but determined. Dozens became hundreds. Old pirate vessels, outdated warships, stealth frigates, even civilian cruisers turned combat-ready. A mismatched, chaotic fleet gathered near Earth, led by the Endeavor. On the eve of battle, Rachel addressed the entire galaxy through an open broadcast. They laughed at us. They called us weak, but weakness taught us how to survive. They feared what we could become, and now they see. We don't want war, but we will never kneel. This is our home, our fight, our time. The battle began at dawn over the orbit of Saturn. The enemy arrived in silence. No warnings, no delays. The sky lit up with weapons fire. Starships exploded like fireflies crushed in the dark, but the human-led fleet stood firm. The Endeavor danced through the chaos, stealth systems, blinking in and out as it slipped past shields and struck with deadly precision. Drones buzzed across enemy hulls, hacking systems, disabling weapons. Captain Rachel gave every order with calm certainty. "We hold this line. Earth doesn't fall today." Allies followed her lead. Varnock cruisers, Delary sniper ships, old enemies who now saw hope in humanity's courage. The Clither flagship, a monstrous vessel the size of a moon, unleashed its core weapon, a gravitational cannon strong enough to tear a planet's crust apart. Rachel knew one direct hit meant the end of Earth. She ordered the Endeavor straight toward it. The crew didn't question her. They trusted her, using the last fully charged pulse shard. They released a final burst. The pulse disrupted the weapon. Not for long, the Endeavor had to get closer inside the cannon's core. Rachel turned to her crew. "Get to the escape pods. That's an order." But no one moved. Lieutenant Park said quietly, "We came together. We stay together." They flew into the weapon structure, dodging beams, fires, and collapsing metal. They planted charges, escaped just before detonation. Weapon exploded from inside. The enemy flagship shattered. The battle turned. The ancient predators panicked. Without their command ship, their fleet broke into chaos. The Allied forces pushed forward. Hours later, the final enemy vessel fled. The sky went quiet. Earth was saved. Galaxy had changed. Rachel stood once again before her crew, her voice soft but proud. "We were never the strongest. We were never the most advanced. But we are human, and we fight for each other." Thought fear ruled the stars, but now they know hope does. The war was not over forever. Danger would return. But now the galaxy understood. Humanity was not prey. Humanity was the storm, and in every dark corner of the stars, a new message was whispered with awe and respect. Never underestimate the ones they once called weak.